2. In Dharma guitar lesson number 1, we talked about sweeping arpeggios. So I encourage you to go back and watch that lesson if you haven't already. In this lesson today, we're going to talk a little bit about the concept of position playing, which is another organizational approach to the neck. So obviously there's many different systems and ways of playing scales. I see students come in, they play starting with the first finger on each mode. That's a common one. So on and so forth. I see 3 notes on each string. That's a good one. But what students have a little bit harder time doing is getting from point A to point 2 all the way up on the neck. As you can see, I played that different each time. The first time I went up on I could go up on the low E string. This time I'll come down on the high E string. This time I'll take the belt partway. I better take the coastal route because there's too much traffic on the belt. So that's the kind of flexibility that we really need to develop in order to be able to improvise. And I'm going to talk about the system of position playing, which I think you'll find will help you to negotiate, to navigate the neck much better. This comes from the system that was the old-fashioned system that was created by William Levitt in the original Modern Method for Guitar series. And in that, William Levitt introduces 5 fingerings for major scale within one position. There's 5 scales that are all presented in second position. That's basically from the 2nd through the 5th fret, but we're going to reach for the first one, the F scale. There's G with the 2nd finger. There's A with the 4th finger. And moving over to the A string, there's C with the 2nd finger. And D with the 4th finger. Now I'm going to show you how these shapes work to create extended scales on the guitar. I'm going to take the key of G and play 3 of the shapes that we just learned. The first one is starting with the 2nd finger. And then the one that starts with the 4th finger on the A string, that would be in 7th position in the key of G. And then the one that starts with the 4th finger on the E string, which would be up on the 15th fret. So we're going to play a little bit in each position. We're going to go on all the way through the D string. And then shift with your first finger to the 7th position. Continue the scale. And then when we get to the B string, after we've played the 4th finger, we're going to shift up to the 12th fret and get the last couple strings in that final position. So we end up with something that looks like this. But the point is that we could shift between those 3 at any given point. Here's a very simple one, just shifting on the high E string. So the position playing really builds in a lot of different ways to move across across the neck in more detail. For today, what I really want to concentrate on is a couple practical musical examples of using this fingering. So we're going to look at a couple of runs that I constructed. The first one is in D Dorian, and it goes from this fingering. It'd be the key of C, but D is your tonal center. So we're going to start with the C scale, and then shift to the second position. That's the basic shape. Now I'm going to add one chromatic. I'm going to add between G and F. I'm going to add F sharp in both octaves. And here's the line. It starts with a D minor 7 arpeggio and then goes through that scale with the one chromatic from G to F. Or going down to G, which would make it G mixolydian. The next one is G Dorian. So we have the key of F with the tonal center of G. Here's our two scale fingerings. It's like the D major shape in F, and the F that would start with the first finger. We're going to shift at the third finger, go down to the fourth, which seems a little strange, but you'll see the phrasing once we add the chromatic. So the same chromatic between the fourth and the third. So you have C, B natural, and B flat in all three registers. And again, it starts with a sweep, a G minor 7, G minor 9, up to the C, which is the 11th, and then right down that scale. So we can take both of those scales. Let's look at that scale, or both of those licks, I should say. Here's the one in D minor 7. And I'm going to play the second one, but in the key of D. So that will be up in 12th position. Now, your challenge would be to string those together. You could play that one and go all the way down and land on low G. So you'd have a really extended bebop scale in G mixolydian. Okay, so I'm going to play the song Cantelope Island. We have three key centers, F minor 7. A flat Dorian or D flat mixolydian. And D Dorian. First chorus, simple, just kind of establish the tonality. Now let's get into the scales a little bit.
Positin.